So I'll share my screen. Okay, so I hope this is visible to everyone. Yes.
Yes, we're seeing.
Awesome. Okay, so last week was like a special webinar I hosted, and we had a good amount of people, around 18 to 20 people. Even a lot of young people joined in who were like teenagers, and some my niece and nephew were there as well. Because the change that happened in the last week was literally revolutionary. We saw what all is possible with all of the latest updates with ChatGPT, Gemini, and now today we are also going to see Claude. Okay, so it's an exciting time we are living in right now, and I really hope you keep on practicing whatever you learned, because that's the quickest way to learn and also apply it in any area of your life. Okay, so today we are going to cover 3 updates and 3 tips with ChatGPT. Okay. Yeah, so before I also get started with this, if any of your friends or someone you know is interested in learning something new, let me know. I'm happy to provide like a free trial for any new people. And you might also get some good offer from that, like maybe 1 month membership free, something on those lines. I'm still in the process of figuring that out, but if any of your friends are interested, please let them know. And I'm happy to provide like a free trial. They can attend some 1 or 2 sessions for free and see if they like it. Okay, so that is one quick thing I wanted to tell you. All right, getting into what we're going to cover today. Microsoft updates. You must have seen Microsoft hosted a session last week. Before that, it was OpenAI and Google, and this week it was Microsoft. And in the next few weeks, it's going to be Apple. June, I think it's 9th or 10th of June. So very, very nice times we're living in. And every session going ahead for the next few weeks is going to be super fun. So make sure you don't miss this. Okay. And there was one study that was conducted, which is update number 2 that I'm going to show you. Third one is just add on to the last week's session about ChatGPT desktop app, which I finally got access to. So I'll show you how that works. And I think anyone who has the paid feature of ChatGPT can try that out as well. And a few tips and tricks of some tools that I found out, and that might be really interesting and helpful for you. Okay. All right, so let's get into the first update. Okay, so Microsoft had an event last week where they announced that they're going to start launching these PCs that are AI first. Okay, so what that means is basically anything that you've done on your screen, any app that you've opened, any person you've interacted with, anything you've typed, it will remember each and everything, and it will save that in its memory. And then you can also access anything that you've done. You can talk to it like in natural language, basically. Okay, so while this is very interesting, this is also a bit scary because you never know what might be getting tracked and whatnot. Okay, so there were some negative reviews about this, but mostly it's around the positive side. Okay, so they have this new AI experiences, which with a feature called as recall. Okay, which will allow users to search for anything, as I just told you. Let me show you one example. Okay. Okay, this is actually a snippet from the event that they hosted. Can you hear the audio?
To show you recall.
Okay, cool. So I'll just show you what recall actually means.
To show you recall, I'd like to welcome our product leader on Windows who built this incredible new capability, Carolina Hernandez. Welcome, Carolina. Thanks, Carolina.
Thank you.
Give us an overview of recall, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. My team developed Recall to help you find anything you have ever seen or done on your PC. We leverage the power of the MPU to ensure content stays on your device, which makes the experience fast and maintains your privacy. Okay, let me show you a few ways that Recall helps me. Like all of you, I am constantly jumping between different tasks throughout my day. Managing my time between a career I am passionate about, staying connected with my family and friends around the world, and the hobbies that I love. Recall helps me get through all these tasks more quickly. My family and I have been searching for the perfect dress for my grandmother, who lives in Colombia, to wear at my cousin's wedding. I've been browsing Pinterest and shopping websites for some options that I can share with her. After looking for options for a few weeks, I wanted to go back and see some of the favorite blue dresses I have found, but I didn't keep all my browser tabs open. With Recall, I can just search for blue dress, and it pulls together all the dresses I have seen. Now, Grandma decided that she wanted to get the awesome pantsuit that we shared in our Discord chat about 3 weeks ago. Now, scrolling through multiple weeks of chat messages to find that specific dress would have taken an eternity. Instead, with Recall, it was easy. I refined my search using descriptive language. Blue pantsuit with a sequin lace from Abuelita. And as you can see, Recall quickly found the Discord chat my family and I were using to discuss the options. And here it is, the dress that Abuelita liked. Recall analyzes the snapshot and it gives me options for what I can do next. In this case, I want to click the link, which takes me back to the right web page where I can make the purchase. And now Grandma has a gorgeous outfit for the wedding.
This is a great example, Carolina, that I think is going to show how Recall is so helpful for people. But one thing I'm not sure people noticed is you used the word peacock, but it wasn't anywhere in what you were searching for. How did Recall recognize that and what's going on behind the covers?
Yeah, absolutely. So Recall can understand that peacock is in the family of the blue hues. So it creates that semantic association that is used to help me find the dress. Okay. Recall is also essential for me at work. Like many of you, my team and I spend a ton of time collaborating on presentations and documents. For example, over the past few weeks, we have been collaborating on a presentation for our product pitch. The deck was created by my partners in the marketing team. And when I finally got around to add my content, I could not figure out where to look for the deck. I tried to remember, was the deck shared in the call? Maybe I had seen it in an email, or maybe I could go and find it in my recent files in PowerPoint. I don't really have time to spend clicking around. But with Recall, I no longer have to go on a searching expedition. I remembered in the outline, we had added a purple chart with writing, a chart with purple writing. And to find the PowerPoint, all I had to do was simply use my voice to search for that clue that I remember. In a few seconds, Recall found the deck for me. And notice that it took me to the exact slide that I remembered, saving me even more time. Now, to put the finishing touches, I wanted to add the final marketing line, but couldn't remember the exact words. I did remember that Nikki shared it in the planning meeting on Teams last Tuesday. With Timeline and Recall, I was able to scroll back in time and find the snapshot of that meeting. I was then able to quickly copy that quote and add it to the deck. And then once again, Recall made it easier for me to find the information just using the clues that I remember. Now, these are just two of the examples of how I use Recall on a daily basis.
Okay. So that's how it is. Like, I'm sure many of you must have faced this. Like, I myself, like while browsing through a lot of tabs when researching on one topic, it's like, okay, I had seen the most interesting piece of information, but I really don't remember the exact terms that I had used or what was present on the web page. So even browsing through your search history gets very difficult. And it might have been a few weeks since you've seen that, right? So that's how Microsoft Recall can actually help you. Okay, so you saw a few interesting use cases, right? Like she remembered there was something written in purple on that slide, and then she just asked in natural language, and that was presented to her. So that's how cool it's getting. Okay, there's one more example.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Two questions, actually. The first one is Recall will help you find things on your browser as when there's internet, and also when you're offline, let's say not offline, but in your PC, in your own folders and in your own mail, let's say. This is one. And the second question is that it's like plug-in. Is it, I mean, like there are no more plugins, I know, but it's like an extension. What is Recall actually? How do you install it in your PC?
Okay, so basically, whenever you get a new Microsoft PC or whenever you upgrade your older PC, recall will sort of be a feature that's inbuilt. Like it won't be an app or a plugin separately. It's just the way that Microsoft works. So basically, anything that you're doing on screen, it'll sort of be there on the side. However, the next example, that's Copilot, which I'll just show you in a few minutes. That is like a separate app within your Windows PC, and that you can keep on the side, whereas whatever tab you're working on would be on one side. So Copilot will sort of be helping you no matter what you're doing. But yeah, that's the first one. That's the second answer. And the first answer you asked was, yeah, basically, if you're scrolling through like tens of different of apps within your Windows PC, it could be some folder, it could be some Excel file, and Google Docs, Google Sheets, everything. It'll just keep track of each and everything that's happening on your computer.
So you mean that if you have the old software of Microsoft, this wouldn't be, you wouldn't have it. It will only be featured in the new software if you update it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so also Copilot is something that we have not covered a lot in our previous sessions, but we could also take a session on that in the future if needed. So basically, Copilot has this new screen sharing feature that will allow you, that basically help you understand what's happening. You can chat with it in real world. There's an interesting example. You can watch this later as well. It's just a 1 minute thing. Okay, I'll share this in the chat box. So basically, it does the same thing. So that person was playing a game on one side and was asking for a strategy to Copilot of how he should go ahead with it. So Copilot was helping him that you should do this first, this first. So yeah, Microsoft has come up with this, and I'm sure Apple is also coming up. Oh yeah, we discussed one feature of Apple last week, iOS 18. Basically, you can just click anything through your eye movements. If your eye movement is on this thing, it'll open that. Plus, they have a ChatGPT integration, which is not yet revealed, but they are in plans of making that. So I'm assuming that will be released whenever they have the next event. That's on 9th or 10th of June. But yeah, all of these tech giants are building something massive. And it's all basically the same thing, but they are going in those directions in which they specialize in, right? So that was it for Microsoft. Now, this feature, this update about AI being more creative is also very cool because ever since ChatGPT came out last year, I think it was May or something. Oh, no, it was April or something last year. And people have been saying that, okay, wow, ChatGPT is good for doing all your tasks, like writing essays and all of that, but it's not really creative. It can never beat humans in creativity, but that's proven to be wrong. Okay, many studies have been conducted, but this one is one of the best ones because it's trained on the latest ChatGPT model. Okay, so basically, the University of Arkansas conducted a test with 151 people against ChatGPT in creative problem solving methods. Okay, and almost all the humans were not had got the answers wrong, or they were not as creative as ChatGPT. So very fun times we are living in. Okay, so this is this is basically the study that was conducted. There's a research paper on this as well for those who are interested, but yeah, basically this is the gist of it. So in case you're having a discussion with your team members or with anyone that, okay, AI will never be able to be creative, you have a valid point here. Okay, but there is I'll just complete this and then I'll take your question, Bente. Okay, but there's this one factor that comes in here. Okay, despite AI being so creative, researchers say that it's not able to be that creative if there's no human interaction going on. So I believe that AI and humans together will be able to provide the best results. No matter how creative AI is, it cannot really beat that when it's not interacting with humans. So that is very crucial. Yes, Mente.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking, because creative? Is it creative problem solving or is it creative tasks in general? Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good question.
yeah.
So it involves everything within creativity. So they
Mm.
have problem solving skills as well. Like how creatively are you able to solve a problem? For example, if your business is facing a problem where you're not able to get a lot of users, say, okay, maybe as the founder of that business, you might have just few ideas to expand your business, but AI is going to be super creative and find out new ways in which you might have never even thought about.
Yeah.
So in that way, it's more creative. And I have also seen a few studies where, even in terms of artistic skills, artistic creativity, AI is also more creative over there. Okay, so it's
I
a
think,
different.
yeah, I think that if I as a I'm educated in design, so if I work with the AI, then I guess it could be more creative. But alone, as you said, it has to be a combination because I tried some of the GPTs that are supposed to be able to design logo.
Yeah,
They are very bad,
yeah,
not
absolutely.
able to do it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a good use case, right? Like for example, there are a lot of these GPTs that will give you logos, that will give you nice creative images, but the thing is that we have still not mastered the prompting techniques to get there. Like I remember once I was creating like this cover image for one of my courses, and I had to prompt it like 10 times to get what I really had in mind. Like I was not finding the right vocabulary for that. So it's definitely the interaction with humans and how we basically give it the right words, because otherwise it's not able to understand what we really want.
No, and even though you ask it, do you understand this and can you tell the difference between this and this? Then it says, then it comes up with things that are, I say, yeah, that's right. So then do it, but then it cannot do it, really.
Yeah, yeah. No,
So,
right. No, that's a valid point. And there's still a lot of debate going on where people say that, okay, AI can really not be creative in the artistic field, because what is creativity, right? Like people have different definitions of creativity. Like some artists have this very specific style of creating art, and you cannot really compare that to an AI. So there's a lot of debate going on in this realm, but this particular study mainly focuses on creative problem solving. So basically, how creative are you in coming up with different ideas to solve a problem?
yeah.
Uh, yeah. But yeah, there was one more conclusion for this particular study. What they mentioned at the end was also that there is still a lot of unclarity, like in just the way we discussed, right? Like what is the true definition of creativity in terms of art? And once, like for example, you might have a different definition, I might have some different definition. So it's still uncertain whether AI will actually turn out to be more creative in the future, because humans tend to think in different, like each and every human has a different way of thinking. So it's very hard to determine that factor. But yeah, let's see how that goes. Awesome. So yeah, if anyone is interested to check out the detailed study, there is this link as well. But most of it I've just told you. So here you go. Yeah, so basically the ending of that was this third point I wanted to show you. The findings suggest AI could serve as an inspirational tool, and it could just help human creativity by avoiding like the mental fixedness that we have sometimes, right? So yet the true extent of AI's ability to replace human creativity is still uncertain, is what they say. Okay, so that was something that was interesting. Okay, finally with the ChatGPT desktop and GPT-4o features, let me show you. Okay, so in the last session, we've also covered like 3 different prompts that we had never used before, just to enhance the capability of GPT-4o. Okay, so yeah, a few quick updates that were not there last time that have come out in this week. Okay, basically towards the bottom of your chat, there's this attach button. You can now also connect Google Drive, Microsoft Drive. Okay. Um, so yeah. So basically, if you just want to check what all documents are there, if you want to extract some information, work on some documents, this is the best way right now. Earlier, there was the option of uploading any document, but now you can also connect all of these apps. I believe a lot of businesses use Microsoft Drive. So I think that I remember one of you had asked me the question earlier when we were talking about Gmail. Basically, you can, with Gemini, we discussed that you can talk with Gmail, you can, analyze a lot of your emails and whatnot. So I remember one question was, can you do this with Microsoft emails? And that time it was no, but now you can basically, if you have any files stored in your Microsoft Drive from your emails, this could be used. Okay. You simply have to go and connect the apps and simply sign up. Okay. All right. So with Google Drive, I'll just quickly show you how that works. Okay, I have just done this. I'll just show you one sample rather than prompting right now. Okay, I had this particular Google Doc called as ChatGPT for writing blogs. This was created last year when ChatGPT was completely new. Okay. This was the initial days when I started taking this webinar, and um, I just uploaded that. I connected Google Drive, okay, in the way I just showed you right now. And I said, summarize this doc for me. So it gave me a nice summary. It gave me what is available in that. Remember, I spoke about Glass very early. Flow GPT was one of the earliest examples I had given. So it gives me what all is possible. Okay. Now I had this particular in 2019. I used to teach coding in AI. Okay, I was into the engineering part that time. I've completely transitioned to marketing right now. But I remember 2019. I had conducted a course on how to prepare a code for computer vision tasks. Okay, computer vision is basically you being able to read images and the entire code behind that. So these were the 4 docs I found in that particular folder for 2019. Okay, so I was like, just let's try something. I uploaded all of those 4 documents and I said, summarize all of these and give me a gist of what these files contain. Okay, let's say you have 10 or 20 different documents and you just want a quick summary of what's there and what. So ignore the first one. This was the earlier document I uploaded above. Okay, so progress document has a research project focused on image comparison. Okay, description meetup. So this is about a meetup I was hosting. Then computer vision workshop day 1 contains the outline and the resources for that workshop that I had noted. And then day 2 had all of the stepwise details that people had to follow. And then again, it gave me like a final gist of those documents. Okay, so it will save a lot of your time if you have to work with a lot of documents. You don't want to open each one and see where it was stored and stuff like that. Okay, very interesting feature. And now we will also see what's new with some other small.
Excuse me, one question. Can you
Oh,
ask Can you ask it, for example, to combine all these documents, like a different presentation in one document and update all the info? Is it possible to do that?
let's try this right now because this is a new feature. Very, very interesting prompt. Let's try this. Can you combine info? Let's say, okay, let's name it. Can you combine info from the above 4 documents and give me and give me? Let's see if it works. I think it should work because there's no different analytical task involved. Okay. Okay, so basically it's still given like a bifurcation of these two, but yeah, it's basically you can just click that copy button and paste it in a new Google Doc. Yeah, it's able to do that. Oh, I like this. So I had 2 different documents for day 1 and day 2 of this workshop, but it's given me all in this together. So yeah, if the combination of those documents are making sense, as we just saw, this one was combined perfectly. This project, facial recognition that I've taken, was like a separate thing and not really linked to my workshop. So but it was still a good bifurcation, if you see
Okay,
it.
and can it make it in a PDF, or we have to go into the Chrome extension or something like that, probably, right?
Yeah. So basically just copy and then paste it separately.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so this was it for the documents. All right. Similarly, this can be done for Microsoft as well. Okay, just add from Google Drive and select. I was just signed out, but let me just go to a new tab. Okay, so yeah, basically just sign in to Google Drive or Microsoft, select whichever file you want. If you want to select multiple files, just click on Control or Command, whatever PC you're working on, select multiple, and then you can upload multiple files together as well. All right. Yeah, a small new feature that came out was basically customized ChatGPT. Okay, so this is something we have covered. Um, Custom instructions is basically how you want ChatGPT to respond to you. And secondly, what information do you want it to remember about you? So these two we have covered. Apart from that, you can find this GPT-4 capabilities here. Okay, so this is enabled by default. By default, browsing is enabled. So if you want to search something on the internet, it is available. By default, DALI is check marked, because if you just want to create an image, you might not have to always specify that use DALI and then create. By default, code is also enabled in case I want to create a Python script or something like that. Okay, so you can also turn these off if you don't want to use these capabilities, but basically that's a small new feature they had. And yeah, this is something that's new. Download the Mac OS app. So it's only available on Mac OS for now, and ChatGPT app. And if you're a paid version, I think you must have gotten access to this, because um, because when they announced it, a lot of people were complaining that there's no app store, there's no app in the app store to download. Okay, so just click on this. The app will get downloaded automatically, and I'll show you how that looks. So yeah, it's a very nice, clean, aesthetic app, and you have everything that works in a very similar way as your ChatGPT browser, as your ChatGPT in the browser. Okay. Um, Everything is very similar except that it has a nice UI, and you have a keyboard shortcut. Okay, so now let's say I'm on my browser and quickly I just want to ask ChatGPT something. So they have this a keyboard shortcut where you click command plus, oh sorry, option plus space. I'll type that here. Okay, so on my keyboard, I'm clicking option plus space. This is what I get here. So I have this pop-up where even if I'm working on another task, it will just come up as a small search bar and I can search for anything. What can I search for right now? Okay. Create a tweet on, so Bitcoin Pizza Day just happened 2 days back, 22nd May. Okay, so let's say I'm working on creating a post for Twitter and LinkedIn. I'll just click on option plus space, which is the shortcut for ChatGPT on Mac app. I'll just say create a tweet. The best part about this is if I'm searching for something online, okay, if I'm searching for something online, and I also want to use ChatGPT simultaneously without closing my browser, I can do it this way. So basically, while searching for something, I can just prompt it here. Okay, so yeah, so that's very cool. And it works in a very similar way to your regular ChatGPT. But yeah, I would recommend you all to also try download the desktop app and start using it. Let me show you some cool things that people have started doing with ChatGPT ever since the latest version came out. Okay, let me open this. So we have taken this example where we converted a drawing to a website in our last episode, in our last session. Okay, so right now, this is also a very cool example. Let's see. Okay, so this person is creating a currency converter, just a very random sketch, and now he's going to ask ChatGPT to create an app out of it. So you see the shortcut was used here, like the similar shortcut I just showed you, option plus space. That shortcut was used, and you just have ChatGPT in a very small box. You don't need to have a separate interface. You have the app ready. Okay, so the entire Python script was created in 1 minute, less than a minute, and that Python script was deployed, and you automatically have the currency converter app. This was all created in less than 1 minute using ChatGPT. That's how cool things are getting, right? Yeah. So this was a very cool thing, and yeah, with the ChatGPT Mac app, people have started experimenting with this, and it's very cool. Like it was all done in less than a minute. The drawing, the scripting, the executing of that script, everything in 1 minute. Yeah, this was also cool. So with the latest GPT 4.0, someone posted this image and said, "Turn this into a traditional Japanese illustration." Did a pretty good job. Okay, if you compare it side by side, it's not very accurate. Like this tower here is very small and it's very big in this image. The people here are big, but here they are very small. So it does have, it's not very accurate most of the time, but it's getting better. As we see with each upgrade, it's getting better. So yeah, this was it for ChatGPT. Okay, now let's move on to, yeah, to tip number two. Sorry, tip number one. I really found this interesting, and I have been constantly using this the entire last week. I have stopped using ChatGPT. I have stopped using Gemini, everything. Not directly, but indirectly. Okay, this is what I'm using right now. Okay, we'll just wait till it loads. Yeah, so you just have to agree to this particular terms whenever you use it. Okay, basically this is large model systems organization. This is a platform which we have tried out, I think 2 or 3 sessions back. And if you remember, we were the earliest testers of GPT 4.0 even before it was released. We had tried that out live in our session before it was even released. So it was all done through this platform. And I'll tell you why I'm really enjoying it. And you can also try this out. Okay. So basically, you can use any large language model. Okay. Let's say Gemini has a paid version, but you're not a paid Gemini user and you still want to use the pro version. So this is a small hack to use the paid version without paying for it. And it's totally legal and it's totally open source. So there's nothing wrong with it. Okay. Claude. We've been using Claude a lot. And we've also seen that the Claude paid features are tremendously good. Right? So even if you want to use Claude paid without actually paying for it, but this is up to some limit, right? Like if you prompt 4 or 5 times, it will stop giving you answers after that because it has a few limit to the number of times you can use it. But that's fine. Like that is for some specific use cases that you might have. Okay, so this is how it looks. I'll walk you through whatever I have been using over here. But before that, um, basically they have all of these tabs above: arena battle, arena side by side, direct chat, leaderboard. Okay, so leaderboard is something we have covered in our ChatGPT course. Okay, so basically they update this based on how users are voting to each and every prompt, to each and every output of the prompt. Okay, so right now you can see GPT 4.0 is definitely number one. then the previous versions of GPT, and then Gemini Pro. Okay. So this changes. I remember it was Claude some weeks back, and sometimes even Gemini is on number one. So it really depends on which model is being published, because all of these models, I think every month or something, they publish a new model, and you can see the organization here. So apart from the trending ones like OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, there are a lot of others. Like Alibaba is something I was surprised when I tried this last week. Like we got some responses that were really good, and Alibaba did a better job than GPT for my use case at that point. Okay. There is Reka AI, there is Mistral, which is also very good. Yeah. Hugging Face also has their own model. Basically, a lot of different companies as well. Sometimes they give you better answers. Okay. Um, so I'll show you how you can use that. Okay. So what I typically do is I use the battle version where they have hidden which models are being used. Okay. Model A, model B is the name given. Whereas if you go to Arena side by side, you have the model name mentioned here. So Llama 3 is also the model used by Meta that is not available for public, right? I'll just show you. Okay, so Meta.ai was released 3 weeks back, and it's not yet available in most countries. Like, you can just try this out as well. Okay. So Meta AI was very trending, but there was no way to use it. But you can literally use it here within chat.lmsys. So yeah, basically I can select any model I want to use. Llama 8B is the latest model by Meta. So I'll select that. That was there by default. I'll let that be. I'll let Claude also be. Claude 3 Haiku, I think it's one of the paid models. Let's just see. Okay, Opus is one of the most intelligent models. I could select that. See, Opus is also available, right? Here I've had to pay $20 per month for Opus, but here I can use it for free. So this is one hack which you can use. It's basically just to compare and see which models are working. Okay, you will have like 4-5 chat limits to that, but it's fine if you just want to test it out. Okay, let's try and prompt. Okay, so I'll prompt it something like, I want to promote my AI course on Gen AI. I'll just type Gen AI using paid ads. Okay, so let's say I want to promote my Gen AI course using paid ads on Instagram. Give me 10 ideas for a creative post that will give me a good conversion. Okay, for now I'll just type this, and I'll just press enter. Let's see what responses both of these give. Okay, one very interesting difference here. Claude has just given me the captions that I need to include in my image. But Llama, that is the AI by Meta, they have given me what image I should use and also the caption. So this will save up more time of mine. Okay. So yeah, basically that's how you can compare if a particular model is suiting you better for one particular task. It's not always the right approach to just go to one LLM like ChatGPT or Gemini, because you have a lot of options available and it's best to experiment what works. And I think this particular framework of chat.lmsys.org will give you a nice comparison of two different models so that you can select which is better from those. Okay. I like this, like post idea to image, a split screen image of traditional job versus AI driven job. And then caption, looking to boost your career prospects, our Gen AI course shows you how to transition. Even the post idea 3 is good if you read this. The post idea 4 is even better, like a collage of inspiring stories from people who have successfully applied AI in their careers. And then caption is also nice. Don't just take our word for it. Our Gen AI course has helped numerous individuals achieve success in AI. Hear their stories and join the ranks. I think this is very convincing, right? And if you see the ones on the left side, basically the Claude ones, they unlock the secrets of AI. And I will never click on this ad if it says unlock, because this is super generic and I know it's written by AI. And as you see, it's all very generic. Unleash the potential, discover. So, so yeah, this will save up a lot of my time rather than going to each and every LLM differently, posting the same prompt everywhere and expecting to see, okay, which one gives you the right results. This is a very nice way, and it's free of cost. It's all open source. I'll tell you what the best part is. You can actually rate, okay? So model A and model B. Let me know which ones did you like in the comments, or yeah, A or B. Okay, B. Yes, what about the others? B. Okay, so basically, when you rate these models over here, A is better or B is better, you are actually training this particular website where they can update it on the leaderboard. So I'll say B is better. Okay, now it has noted, it has taken that into account, and that's how the leaderboard is updated. Like people like us across the globe are testing this, and when they are rating one model better than the other, it's actually updated in the leaderboard, and that's how you know what people across the world are liking. So yeah, so basically this was one very interesting hack that very few people know about. Okay, so that was tip number 1. The other 2 are fairly small, so we'll be able to complete that in the next few minutes. Okay, so we must have seen a lot of these AI bots in all meetings that we attend, right? There's fireflies.ai, there's Otter, whatnot. And it does, like, sometimes it does feel like, okay, sometimes just AIs are taking meetings and we are just there present in the background. So I like this tool because it's like a notepad. So it will take notes for you on behalf of you and not being present in the meeting. Okay, so basically, if you have a lot of meetings, you can just install this app. It looks like notes in your Apple system, and it will automatically enhance whatever you've written in a very structured manner. So this is something that you can see on the right side over here. Okay, after the entire meeting is done, it has some words and then it'll enhance it. It'll give you overview, requirements, next steps in a um, very nice ordered way. Okay, yeah, again, it works across Google Meets, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, no matter what you're using. It will work in the background. It won't be present in your meetings to take notes. It'll work separately. So I really found this interesting and I'm going to try this out. I haven't yet.
Can you add, please, the link in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, it's there on Mac for now. I'm not sure if it's there on the other platforms yet. I assume they have, okay, they don't even have a mobile app. So and not even Windows, like you cannot see Windows anywhere here. So just there for uh, Mac OS, but yeah. Yeah, and this is also really cool. I'm not sure why the light is so dim. Okay. Um, yeah, so Anthropic, which is the company behind Claude, they have introduced a prompt generation tool, and a very nice structured way if you just want to get better at prompting, if that's your only goal. Okay, so I'll just show you what that is. Okay, so there is this thing called as console Anthropic. I've put the link in the chat. Yeah, okay, so I think this is something that we have covered previously, prompt library, but there's also something new. Okay, so Anthropic, which is the company behind Claude, they have an entire prompt library so that you don't have to sit and waste your time in creating the perfect prompt. Okay, very, very interesting things are available here. I'll show you one example and then I'll move to the next part of Anthropic. Okay, so Prose Polisher is one of the prompts they have. If you see, okay, yeah, if you see, they have the entire prompt here, which is a very nice detailed prompt, such a big one. You are an AI copy editor with a keen eye for detail, deep understanding for style, language, grammar. Your task is to refine and improve written content. Okay, so basically it's provided all the steps here. You can literally copy paste this prompt into whichever LM you want. Let's see some examples, okay? So this is what the user has written. The sun was going down, it was getting dark, birds were making noise in the trees, and basically they want to make this better if this is to be published in a book or something. Okay, so this is the output. I like the second part. The birds were making noises in the trees was put by the user, and then the AI suggested that this could be rephrased as the trees rustled with the melodious chirping of birds. Okay, so you see how it's made the prose better. Like, yeah, basically it's made the prose better. And this is also nice. Instead of she kept walking and felt better, consider with each step, Jane felt her stress dissolve, replaced by a growing sense of tranquility. Okay, so this is good for people who are into writing fiction books. This would really work for them. Or just some social media content if you want it to be dramatic or something. Okay, so yeah, basically these are from the prompt library that Anthropic has provided. There are a lot of different things. Humorous helper. If you want to write something with a sarcastic tone, you can use this. Okay, this is the entire prompt library by Anthropic, and feel free to use this. Apart from that, if you just go to the console, okay, so they have a nice documentation of whatever is possible. But one thing that really stood out from this that I want to show you, prompt engineering. Okay, they have a very, very detailed tutorial if you want to get really, really good at prompting. But even if you don't want to get good at that, if that's not your main goal, but this will give you some very nice ideas that you can use. Okay. So you see, this is the Excel sheet that they have published. It's all open source. If you see below, there are a lot of subsheets available. They have given a very detailed documentation of how you can use this. Okay, I'll just show you some examples. I mean, this is so detailed that it'll take 2-3 hours to just cover this entire thing. But it's a good way of if you to experiment if you want to get better with prompting. Okay, they've given very nice examples at each step, basic prompting structure. How do you get clear and direct? How do you assign roles? By the way, this we've already covered in our course. But yeah, this is like extremely detailed. Okay, then separating data and instructions, formatting output. A lot of it is available, right? If something is there for legal services, this is the one. Basically, if you want to upload an entire document, a legal document, and obviously legal documents are very difficult to understand, right? So how do you actually try to understand the core parts of that? So yeah, basically that. extremely detailed spreadsheet, and it's all free. So, so yeah, you see some prompting examples. You are an expert lawyer. Here is some research that's been compiled. Use it to answer a legal question from the user. And it's given all these examples and what all. It should be no more than a couple paragraphs. If possible, try to conclude with a single sentence answering user's question. Very detailed, right? So yeah, basically this is something you can try out. I'll share this link directly with all of you if you want to try this out. All right.